So it's 2022 and you have big goals of making money online and you think to yourself, I need to create an online course. People are making millions of dollars or at least thousands of dollars with online courses. And you're thinking, oh my God, online courses are a great passive income stream. And I just need to create it once and poof, I'll get that money. I'll get it overnight. I'll get it when I'm sleeping. I'll get it when I'm on vacation. While some of that is true, there's a ton of behind the scenes strategy and work that goes into making a successful online course. And a lot of courses that people think about or that they even make don't get off the ground or they don't really even sell once they're created. In this video, I'm gonna be scratching the surface of a few very important things that you need to consider when creating your first online course if you want that online course to be successful and make you a lot of money. So if you've been thinking about creating an online course, maybe you've thought about, hey, it's for 2020, that's my goal, then you're definitely gonna wanna watch this whole video. So who am I and how am I even qualified to talk to you about online courses? Well, my name is Erika Vieira and I'm the creator of the Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp. It's an online course helping women accelerate their YouTube growth. And with that course, I've generated over $750,000 in revenue, but most importantly, have changed the lives of hundreds upon hundreds of women. I've personally invested a lot of money in other courses and coaches and cultivated a lot of relationships with other course creators. I've even been featured on a whole bunch of different podcasts, such as the online course guru James Wedmore himself about my success with my online course, as well as Pat Flynn's Smart Passive Income podcast, the Influencer podcast, Angelique Show, and the Chalene Johnson podcast. Creating courses is something that I absolutely love and I love talking about. And no, I personally don't have a course on creating courses. So I want to present the information for free to you right here on my YouTube channel, where my mission is to provide tangible steps for you to achieve your financial and creative freedoms online with YouTube, or in this case, with an online course. And with a lot of YouTube creators, a lot of them do end up deciding to create a course or thinking, hey, that's something I want to do once I grow my following. I'm not going to dig into how to figure out who your target online audience is or what your niche should be for your course. I've covered that in other YouTube videos, and there are a lot of other free videos on YouTube that cover that topic. But what I want to really drill in on and focus on is why building an audience before creating your course is so important and a crucial component to success. The most important thing to a successful online course is finding people who want to buy your course. And a lot of people think that they'll spend all this time and money and energy creating this perfect online course, and then once it's available for sale, they're wondering why nobody's buying it. And when it comes to online courses, this is something nobody talks about, but 10% of your time will be spent creating the course and 90% of your time will be spent marketing the course. And that's the big reality that nobody talks about. There are three main marketing methods that people use to sell their online course. The first marketing method I'm going to share with you is the most expensive, and that's ads. Whether it's Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, they all cost money. And ads can be crazy expensive. They're effective, but not without putting out a lot of money on the front end. And if you're new, you've never really done a course before and haven't tried and tested this course out on a lot of different people, you're taking a huge risk by jumping out of the gate with a brand new course and paying a ton of money with ads. I personally experimented with ads, but it was only after I'd been selling my course for several years and had tweaked the marketing and the content to really make it perfect. And only then do you want to run ads. Otherwise, you could be sinking a lot of money down the drain on a product that isn't really tested. If you have a lot of money, it is a way for you to test, because you could spend a lot of money, get in front of a lot of people, and figure out if your course is really going to work or not. But most people I know don't have tens of thousands of dollars sitting in the bank that they want to just throw in ads to test the course. So unless you have tens of thousands of dollars to drop on ads, you might want to come back to this marketing strategy after you've made some money from your course through some of the other methods that I'm going to talk about. The second marketing method for your course are collaborations or affiliates. There's some people out there that sell courses on creating courses, and they boast that the way they were able to make tons of money with their course without spending a lot of money on ads or hours upon hours building an audience is through collaborations and affiliates. But I see a lot of flaws with that approach, especially for a new course, because you have to remember, well, especially for a new course for somebody that doesn't already have a large audience, because you have to remember that anybody that has a sizable audience that you actually want to collaborate with, they want something in return. Yes, they're gonna share whatever you sell, but usually what they really want is for an opportunity for them to sell their course or whatever they have to your audience. So it becomes like a win-win situation, almost like a trade. Hey, I'll sell my course to your audience and you can sell your course to my audience. If you don't have any kind of audience or you haven't spent time building one, then these people that have a sizable audience that are well-known, they're less likely to want to collaborate with you unless they're your best friend or your sister or somebody that you know personally. And if you don't have an audience and you aren't out there building relationships, you're gonna have a tough time getting anyone to want to collaborate with you. And another method of collaboration is getting onto other people's YouTube channels or podcasts, which I have done, and that definitely helps. But still, it's a lot easier if you've built an audience and have established yourself online as an authority in whatever field it is that you're creating your course about. I wasn't on Andy's podcast until I had achieved some success with my course. Otherwise, why would they interview me? So this is definitely a great option to try, but not before putting some serious time and energy into building your own audience, which I'm going to talk about right now. So let's talk about method 3 to marketing your course, and that is building an audience. And on this YouTube channel, I talk about building a YouTube audience. So I'm obviously partial to this method of marketing your course, which is building an audience. I grew my audience first by my podcast and then here on YouTube. And here's the thing, building your audience is free and it gives you the unique opportunity to really get to know who your audience is, who you're targeting, and eventually who you're gonna be selling your course to. Yes, building an audience does take a lot more time than Facebook ads or even getting a few affiliates. But there is so much value to having your own audience that you can market to instead of relying on someone else's or paying Facebook to do it for you. And you can interact with your audience. You can learn their needs and wants over time. You don't get that same kind of interaction if you just create a course and jump into ads or even with collaborations. What you're also doing when building an audience is creating warm buyers so that the sell itself is so much easier. So for me, by the time I came out with my course, I had been creating content for at least 3 years. And I'm not saying that you have to create content for 3 years before selling a course. That's just what I did. But I had 3 years to establish myself as a leader in my particular niche, as well as build rapport with my audience and strengthen the know, like, and trust factor so that by the time that I got around to selling something, my launches were all completely sold out. My first launch was roughly a $40,000 launch, and after that, my launches were either close to $100,000 or surpassing the 6-figure mark. And I probably could have done more at the time, but I did put a cap on the number of people because I needed to keep it small and manageable since I had a group coaching component to it and I was doing everything myself in those early days without a team. Recapping, step number 1, marketing your course. There's 3 different methods, which are ads, collaborations, and building your audience. And my favorite, if you can tell already, is building an audience. So let me know, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think building an audience first makes the most sense? Is that something that you're doing right now in anticipation of rolling out a course in the future? Or have you ever tried ads or affiliates or collaborations to promote your course? I've tried all 3 of them, and I'm still at the conclusion that having your own audience and building an own audience and selling your course to that is by far the best. Step number 2 is build your email list. Your email list is your money ticket. Yes, you could sell your courses from your videos, from your Insta stories, even from your podcast, your Facebook lives, and I know a lot of people that do that. But having an email list is great because you can run promotions, you can test things out on different groups of people, and just have a lot more control on how and when you offer your program to your following. Also, there is a consideration that by creating an email list, you're at least not relying on one social platform for your entire livelihood. So you're able to capture that audience and have a little bit more control over it. At the very minimum, not just relying on that one platform in case that one platform goes under or for some mysterious mysterious reason your channel disappears, which it did for YouTuber Sarah Therese, who I talked about in a recent video if you're interested in checking that out. So how do you build your email list? So it's really simple. There's two things. You first build an audience, and then you create free things to give in exchange for their email. This is also really great to do first before starting your course because it gives you some practice in creating products and marketing your products prior to actually creating your course. Prior to building my course and selling my course, I focused on building my email list. I was actually listening to a podcast episode from Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income, and one of his guests mentioned that like the first thing you want to do is you want to build an email list, and an email list of at least 2,000 people, and once you do that, you can pretty much sell anything. So that was my spark, my motivation to get started with building an email list. And I did that by creating some workbooks, some freebies, and that did give me the practice on creating some workbooks, creating mini courses, so that by the time I did create my course, I had some experience and knowledge with putting things like that together. So step number 3 in building a successful online course. I personally absolutely love Kajabi. No, this is not sponsored. I do have an affiliate link with them, but I'm really telling you this to save you a ton of time and money and not make the same mistakes that I made. Kajabi is an online course creation platform that I discovered after I'd already spent a lot of money building a website and platform for me to host my course. And upon discovering Kajabi and learning about all of its features and having been frustrated running my own website and course on my own side, I eventually threw all of that out the window and then I switched to Kajabi. And I'm still really glad that I did it. And I still use Kajabi to this day because it was so much easier for me to do it with a platform that specializes in courses and build my courses and email lists on there. And yes, you heard me. I was able to also build my email list on Kajabi. Kajabi has that feature because prior to using Kajabi, I was using another email marketing platform. But I eventually moved my list over to Kajabi and had everything on one platform, which was very efficient and cost effective. And I know there's a few different course platforms out there, but personally after doing hours and hours of research online and in person talking to other course creators, I concluded that Kajabi was the best bang for my buck. Also, as I mentioned earlier, you do want to create free mini courses or offerings for your audience to help build your list prior to marketing and selling your first course. And Kajabi is a great platform to do that on as well. Also, there are a lot of online virtual assistants that are very knowledgeable with Kajabi, so you can always hire someone that knows Kajabi to help you out there as well if the task of creating a course or freebie is too time intensive or overwhelming. Kajabi isn't cheap. It'll run you about $100 a month, but the ROI that I get from using it and the time savings is well worth the fee. I do have a link in the description, which is an affiliate link if you're interested in checking out Kajabi as well. So those 3 first steps are what I will leave you with for now, and let me recap them for you. Step number 1 is figure out how to market your course, and my advice is focus on building your audience. Step number 2 is build your email list and create freebies to give away to your audience in exchange for their email. Step number 3 is find a good course platform that is easy to use and an all-in-one, and my suggestion is Kajabi. There is so much that goes into creating an online successful course, but these are some super important steps to take to ensure that the time and effort that you put into creating a course really does pay off for you. And if you're brand new to creating courses, or it's like in the back of your mind, then you really want to take to heart what I'm telling you here. I love talking about course creation and online courses, and I don't do it too often on my channel or podcast because my focus is on interviews and YouTube growth. But if you do want me to touch more on this topic, I'm more than happy to. I have years of knowledge on creating online courses, and I truly believe that it is a great way for you to monetize your following and have control over the way you monetize over something like AdSense or even brand deals. And up next is my productivity hacks that help me generate 40K plus revenue months. So check that one out, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.